Alright, here we are, and basically what I'm going to do now is just clear what I did in the last video. That's why I kept this handy tool around, so we're going to clear out the cuboid region. Oh, forgot to press mod, always, every time. And I don't need to put a sponge block down because we got a grass block right here. Let's run this and we'll get rid of all of those random blocks we placed last time. And now I can move this one up and disable it, because we'll probably need it later. Pop this one back in and enable that. And I'm going to move this back to 100. You remember in the last one we tried it at 100, and then we moved it down to 2 just to see what happened. I'm moving back to 100 because I do want it to just be pretty sparse as a starting point. Because we're actually going to take those grass blocks that it spawns in, and we're going to use them in the next thing we do. So let's get some grass blocks back, and put my sponge block down. There we go. Cool. So that doesn't seem very interesting yet, but those little blocks, those are going to be kind of like seeds. I want to grow them into little hills. You can kind of think of them as hills right now. They're just tiny, 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 tiny hills. I want to make them into bigger hills. So how can we do that? Well, it shouldn't come as a surprise. We're going to use another cuboid operation. So you notice actually this whole function, we've done a ton of things like just with this main function, and the only thing we ever changed has been this. All we're changing is what we do on each square, each of those squares in between the start of the cuboid and the end of the cuboid way over there in that corner. So yet again, that's what we're going to do, but I like this, so I'm going to keep it around. Just disable it and move it off to the side. Actually, I'm going to have a little spot for the tools that I've built that I want later. By the way, this tool building, this is really what computer science is all about, is you start with a powerful tool like cuboid and you build little tools that do little things that you want. What I would like to do is have a drone go through this cuboid, and every time it finds one of these, like this one, every time it finds one, what I would like it to do is expand it out like this. Something like that, basically. Expand it out one block in every direction. I want it to do it to every single one of them, though. And then if I have something that does that, that'd be pretty cool, because then I could run it again. It would expand out each block a little bit more, and it would look something like that. So if I had a way to widen out the blocks, I could run it multiple times and get it to be even bigger. And I could do it again and get it to be even bigger, and so on. And that would kind of make the base of some hills. Turn it to daytime. So what I'm going to do is make a function that widens out stuff. But I'm not going to do it by hand, so let me undo what I just did by hand, and then we'll go do it with code. Because, man, if we did it by hand, that would be a lot of blocks to go widen out. I'll come back to my starting sponge block right here. And let's write a new function to plug into this cuboid function. So, what do we want it to do? We want it to find a grass block and then place more grass blocks around it. So one thing we'll definitely be doing is placing grass blocks, so I know I need that in there somewhere. But I only want it to do that if it encounters another grass block. So I know I need an if statement, so let me just go ahead and steal this if statement from here. But I don't want it to do anything with random numbers, because it's actually not at all random. Those blocks are random, but they were randomly placed earlier. So now, whenever it finds a grass block, I want it to place other grass blocks around it. In fact, I know I want it to place 4 grass blocks around it. So I'll need 4 of these. Now, this is still not quite complete because I haven't filled in the if statement, and there's something wrong with this because I don't want it to just place grass 4 times in the same spot. Let's actually fix that first. So I want it to, if it finds a grass block, I want it to basically go to the left. I'll have it, I'm going to move drone D to the left 1 and place a grass block. Let's act it out over here just to make sure we're doing it. So if it finds a grass block, move the drone left and place 1. So move the drone left and place 1. And then I want it to move back right twice and place another one. So that'd be right and then right, and that places another one. And then I want it to move left one and then forward one. So left one, forward one. So that goes here, left one, and then forward one. That's right there. I'll place another one. And then I want it to move backwards 2. And place another one. There we go. And almost done. Then I want to move it forward 1 just so it's back where it started, because that's the block where it started on. So let's have it move forward 1 at the very end. Cool. So that's ultimately what I want it to do, but when do I want it to do it? That's something we haven't written just yet. So what do we want right there? We only want it to do all this stuff if it finds a grass block as it's going through. As it's going all the way through this cuboid region, I want it to build these things when it finds a grass block. So what I'll do is if, I think there's a, material at. So if the material at the location of the drone D, if that is equal to grass, if it's equal to grass, there we go, then we expand the grass out. I think that will work. Yeah, let's try that. If it doesn't work, we can fix it. This is pretty complicated code here. It's getting a lot more complicated than before, but I have a good feeling it'll work. Let's get rid of these things. All right. So it's going to widen out each of those things. Let's see. Pop. Oh, nice. That's exactly what we wanted. Yep, it widened it out exactly like I just did this one by hand, but it did it to every single one of them. Every single one of them got little, like, clover type things now. And notice some of them are kind of close together, and that's what I was really looking for, because I'm going to widen them out again, and you'll notice some of them will merge together, which is pretty neat. So let's do one more widen command. I'm not going to change the code at all. I'm going to leave the code exactly the same, and now it's going to widen them out even further because just more grass blocks. So every single grass block it finds, it's going to widen that one out in all directions. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So this one's even wider now. And we got some that are starting to merge together into an even bigger hill. You got like a little long ways hill right there. Something interesting's going on right there. Let's widen out one more time so we can get a couple of big hills. Those are connected. That's kind of nice. Pop. There we go. That's cool. Yeah. So already, this is kind of feeling like the bases for hills inside of a random terrain. And I like that I can still walk around in it. It's not too cluttered, but there are some fun obstacles here. Once we make them taller, then that'll be really cool. But for now, I want you to write just what I have here. I want you to write this widening operation. So as the drone D moves through the cuboid, if it finds that the material at the location of itself is grass, then it'll do some cool stuff to add more grass all around it and then come back to where it started. And then you get a widening tool. So that's a cool tool. So we're going to save that, go ahead and write it, and then we'll make some tools in the next section that will actually raise them up. So we'll get hills.